Oh, look at these beautiful white daffodils. They're just, oh my goodness. Look at that. A whole field of daffodils. Just beautiful. Oh, there's something very lovely about the English countryside. Despite the pretty unpredictable weather, it is really lovely here. Nice and green. Kind of miss Gozo and Malta. The weather was pretty pants while I was out there, but not unusual for March, but it was still cold and really wet. Just look at this there. We have hawthorn here. Beautiful, beautiful hawthorn. It's a very medicinal plant, apart from it being a very ancient and sacred tree, the hawthorn. You can eat these fresh leaves and they kind of taste a bit like, well, we used to call it bread and butter when we were kids. I'm not sure it does taste of bread and butter, but maybe it meant that you can put it on your bread and butter. Don't know. And here we have blackthorn. Really lovely. Huge spikes on that. And it's now beginning to rain a little bit. Well, I'm back in the UK. Stopped off to pick up Rafi and to spend a little bit of time with my son before I head off back to Wales in the morning. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of take stock of where I am right at the moment. It's kind of a bit of a weird feeling, a bit of a weird sensation that I always feel as if I'm in the wrong place. I'm not with Maurizio in Malta. When I'm in Malta, I'm not with my kids. And I'm not with my kids or Maurizio when I'm in Wales. And, you know, I also have to leave Rafi behind. And it just seems to me that I'm never in the right place. So what's that all about? I need to gather everybody together so that we can all be, you know, within a reasonable distance of each other. That's the point. You know, if we got everybody in the same country, that would be good. But yeah, it's kind of, I have this kind of weird sensation that I'm just not in the right place wherever I am. I'm not in the right place, and that makes me feel unbalanced, especially as I'm a Libran and balance is our thing. And if we're not in balance, it kind of tips everything else off the scales. So I need to find a way of recalibrating things. Anyway, I've got lots to do at home to keep me occupied. I'm going to have the kitchen redone. It hasn't been touched. Well, my cottage belonged to my aunt, and obviously she hadn't done anything for donkey's years, for probably 20 or 30 years. So it kind of all needs redoing, and slowly I'm getting round to everything. You know, had to wait till Mum was somewhere else, you know. Anyway, I can start now, and I'm kind of looking forward to getting all of that work done, although it's going to be fairly chaotic for a few weeks, but now's the time to do it. Got to get in the garden, start gardening again, taking all the tarpaulin up that I laid down. I like to do a no-dig garden, and as much as I can sort of towards permaculture. So I plant flowers like marigolds and things which encourage insects, which help with keeping the pests down. And I've got some raised beds, some hugelkultur beds, which is you put dead wood, or at least wood, on the bottom layer, and then you put twigs and things. You layer things like leaf mulch and anything really from the garden, not weeds, because they will germinate and grow, but you kind of layer it, and maybe some straw if you have it, maybe some animal manure, just anything really to build up the layers. And what that does is that the wood at the bottom, the trunks of trees and things that I had taken out in the garden because they were practically dead, I put in the bottom, and what that does is that it holds the moisture. So these hugel beds shouldn't need a lot of watering in the summer. I mean, you know, I live in Wales, so it's going to rain anyway. But it also keeps all the nutrients in that place. And last year I had a bumper crop. It was fantastic. So I shall continue to do all of that. I haven't got a greenhouse, so I might wait a little bit before I plant anything out, like beans, and I don't usually do that until May, I think. But yeah, so I've got a lot to do in the garden as well. So I've got a few months of busyness. I'm also trying to sort of plan how I can spend more time out in Malta. Sorry, I got some of that hawthorn stuck in my teeth. Whether I think about driving out there with Rafi so we can stay a bit longer, because I have a Maltese ID, so I can stay longer than the 3 months if I wanted to. But it's still a kind of time-consuming, expensive process to take the car out there. Or I go for less time and find somebody that can look after Rafi. I don't want to put him in kennels. He's nearly 13. He's never been in kennels in his life, and I don't like to do that. He gets stressed enough as it is. So that's probably not an option. Anyway, lots of things to think about. I don't know about you, but I'm finding this kind of, there's a lot of underlying karmic stuff coming up at the moment. I don't know whether anybody else feels that, but I kind of feel as if I'm purging some probably long-held karmic stuff, and I really think that the collective is doing that right now, which is why everybody's feeling pants. Why everybody is kind of noticing that life's feeling a little bit heavy at the moment. You know, the news isn't good, especially in the UK. We've got, there's just so much going on here. And, we could ignore it at our peril, I feel. If you're not prepared, if you're not forewarned, you're not forearmed. So I think, we do need to keep abreast of what's going on without kind of getting too sucked into the negative side of things. So, and although, from a day-to-day, minute-to-minute basis, nothing's going on, but it does seep in there. Every time I put some more fuel in the car, it's a little bit more expensive, which, for a lot of people that's a real issue. I'm not saying it's not an issue for me, but if I've got to go somewhere, I've got to go somewhere. So yeah, April, the astrology for April is pretty heavy. This threat of the war in Iran escalating, which will obviously affect all of us, even if we're not living so close to Iran, but it does, it will affect us. There's lots of planetary movements going on, so we need to just chill. And because I'm Libra, my sign is kind of heavily influenced by personal relationships, whether it's a partnership or children or business partnership. And, things are coming up to be looked at, and either to see how they can be changed for the better, or, in some people's cases, this isn't my case, but in some people's cases it may be that they need to call it a day and move on and find different people to work with. And so it is quite a highly charged energetically this month, and apparently it's I'm no astrologer, I just follow it. According to some well-known astrologers, that this month is probably the most intense month of the year. So hold on to your hats, take a deep breath, get out in your garden, do your daily practice, your daily rituals, your daily gratitude, your daily just being grateful for everything, really, the good and the bad, and see where it takes us. I'm just going to sit tight, keep my head down, do things in the house, get out in the garden when the weather allows, and take it from there, really. So, it's kind of good to be back in the UK, although I do miss Malta. I miss that. Miss everything about it. I miss my very close friends more than anything. And obviously my partner is out there. So it's kind of bittersweet coming back here. I love to be with Rafi because he's such a special dog. Raphael the healing dog. And so have a good Easter weekend. If you're in Malta, the Good Friday celebrations are always interesting. Let me know if you're there what you feel about the energy that the Good Friday celebrations bring. It's not something I've ever kind of joined in on. I do observe, and it's very much a heavily Catholic thing, and actually, some of the celebrations are very particular to Malta and Gozo, and you probably don't see them anywhere else in a Catholic country. But it is a time for rebirth. Easter is about rebirth. Jesus rising up from the dead and bringing in the light for us all, really. So whether you believe in the Catholic viewpoint of Jesus Christ and oops, Ruffy's crossing the road without me. Come around. Or whether you believe in the Christos, which is what I believe in, the eternal light, the one light that we are all a part of. Anyway, happy rebirth. See you soon. Ciao for now.